Hey guys, welcome to Loreley's Plastic Kitchen. I'm Loreley, so come on in. Hey guys, welcome to Loreley's Classic Kitchen, and today in my kitchen I'm going to be doing a yummy, scrumptious cinnamon pull-apart bread. Now you're in for a treat, guys, but I'm going to be doing this bread and you want to make sure you're not going to eat the whole thing. But anyways, come with me so I can show you what you're going to be needing. Come on in. Right here I have 2 cups of warm water, as well as 1 teaspoon of sugar, as well as 1 tablespoon of yeast. And then right here I have 2 tablespoons of butter melted. Well, it doesn't have to be melted, but it can just be softened. And then in this cup I also have a half a cup of sugar. Okay guys, hanging out in this corner. Don't think you're not gonna need these ingredients, because you are. This is gonna be 1/3 cup of butter, softened butter. And then this is gonna be 1/2 cup of sugar, as well as a tablespoon of cinnamon. Mix that together, and I'll show you that later why you're gonna need that. But right now, to our warm water, you're gonna take your teaspoon of sugar and plop that baby in, as well as your tablespoon of yeast. Now I get mine in bulk, that's why it's in this little container, because as much baking and things that I do, I need to buy bulk. And then you're gonna wanna mix it just to get all of those ingredients feeding on that sugar in there. And you're gonna let that and leave it alone for 5 minutes, guys. Now remember, 5 minutes. Because you want to make sure your yeast is activated and it's getting all yummylicious in there with those yeast feeding on that sugar. So we'll see you in 5 minutes. We're back, guys. It's been 5 minutes. Now look at this frothy, foamy goodness right here. This is how you're gonna want your yeast to look, all foamy and frothy. But if it doesn't look like that, I would just restart the process over again until you get it activated, because that's what's gonna make your bread and all that stuff rise. But if you don't have a mixer, I'm gonna use mine in a stand mixer. But if you don't have a mixer, what you're gonna do is all the ingredients that I'm gonna place in here, you're gonna place in a separate bowl. And instead of the machine kneading for you, you're gonna have to knead it with your hands back and forth. I show you a kneading method on my pizza one, or the one that I just did, my pretzel video. So if you wanna know how to knead your dough by hand, you can go to my pretzel video and watch that, because I knead my pretzel dough. But anyways, I'm gonna start this. I'm gonna put all of my yeast mixture in the bowl. You just wanna be careful when you place it in the bowl. Make sure you get all those little bacterias in there going. And then I'm also gonna place my butter, my softened butter, or your melted butter, but you just want to make sure it's not like hot if it's melted. You want to get everything all burned. And then I'm going to take my half a cup of sugar, place that in there as well, and I'm going to give that a little quick mix. I'm sorry. I'm sorry guys, every time I know I have to apologize for this, but it's because my this is an old machine. It was my Nana's machine, so if some of you haven't seen my other videos, it makes that noise, but it's still going and it's still cooking, and I don't have to knead it by hand. So I'm very thankful that my Nana left this to me. So I'm very blessed actually. But I just laugh every time we get that going because it kind of sounds like it's dying out, but it's not. So okay, now I'm gonna add my mixture of your flour mixture. It's just plain flour, all multi-purpose flour. And it's gonna be about 5 to 6 cups depending on your weather. And I'm just gonna place 5 in there right now before I start mixing it. And if you need to take a spatula or something to scrape the sides, you're gonna have to do that during the process. And that's 4 and 5, and then we'll see how that goes. Okay, get ready. Now at this point I'm gonna stop and scrape it, but I'm gonna add my teaspoon of salt. I'm pretty much know by doing it how much a teaspoon is, and I'm right. That's a teaspoon of salt. So we're gonna scrape the sides and then we're gonna mix it up and see how it all comes together. Because once it comes together, you're still gonna want like a tacky consistency on your dough. You don't want over dry dough because then your bread's not gonna be very good if it's so dry. Your bread will be dry, so here we go. Be prepared guys, the machine's coming. Now see how that consistency is in there? This is too tacky. You're not gonna want it that way. So I'm gonna add a 1/2 cup first. So that's 5.5 cups total. And then I'm gonna see how the 1/2 cup does for it. I'm gonna stop it and fill it, and that feels good to me. So I'm gonna knead this for 5 minutes on 4, and then I'll see you after that 5 minutes is done. Hey guys, this is how you're gonna want your dough to look. See that? It's nice and smooth, but it's still a little tacky. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pinch it at the bottom, kind of make it like a round ball. And like I always say, ain't nothing but a good slap in the masa right here. But that way you can take some of your frustrations out of the day or whatever's getting to you. Then you're gonna wanna spray your bowl. Either spray it or oil it, and then put your dough mixture upside down in there just to get the top coated so it won't get like a hard film around it. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place a cloth over it and I'm gonna put it in my microwave because that's where I like to put my dough when it's rising. So that way it doesn't get air or draft in there for about 1.5 hours. So I'll see you guys in 1.5 hours. Alrighty, now that our dough has been rising for about 1.5 hours, this is how your dough is gonna look. See that rise on there? See all those air pockets? Well, sad thing is you're taking it out and you're putting it and taking those air pockets out. But don't worry, it's still gonna rise up. And what I'm gonna do is I wanna make sure that my dough is like kind of like flattened. So I'm gonna give it a quick roll because what we're gonna do is we're going to cut these in pieces, and that's gonna be the yummy part of your pull-apart bread. Kind of want to make it like kind of square it off. You hear those air pockets popping on there? I don't know if you can hear them, but I do. That's gonna make your bread extra yummy though. Let me see. Okay. Now we want it probably about maybe like, what do you think that is? maybe about 1/4 of an inch or an inch maybe on the height. And once we got it to the consistency that we want, I'm gonna take my little cutter. Now you can use whatever you have. I just have this little like soft sharp cutter, and you're gonna want to take like even pieces. If your ends aren't even, just kind of cut them off just like that. And then you're gonna take make them like square long rectangles first, and then you're gonna kind of want to like square them off just like that. And that is why your pull apart is going to be so yummy, because you're going to have those layers in there. Now, if you want, you could do this before you cut it, but it's not a big thing. I just took my softened butter. You got to make sure it's softened, because you don't want it, you know, hard. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to spread it. But you take your softened butter and you just spread them on those pieces. And I just wait, because I'm still going to cut it after this. So I'll just continue spreading this butter just like this. And once I finish spreading this butter, what you're going to want to do is get your cinnamon and sugar mixture that you made earlier. And remember, it's a tablespoon of cinnamon and 1/2 cup of sugar. That's what you want. If you have extras, no big deal. Just put it in there. Save it for some cinnamon toast for the morning. Whatever you guys like cinnamon and sugar on. Your oatmeal, things like that. And then I'm just gonna take this and sprinkle it over. Now you're gonna make a mess in your kitchen, but that's okay. You can just clean it up. I'm sure if you have kids, they make bigger messes than that. But just sprinkle it up just like that. Okay, now that we got all of our cinnamon and sugar on there and our butter, I'm still gonna cut it like I said before, but what I want you to do is I wanna show you what I did over here to my pans, because this is important. You wanna make it easy for you to pop your loaf out once it's out of the oven. So what I did is I took some wax paper with my spray, like your any kind of spray, Pam, whatever you use, and I just made it to where it kind of overflowed on each end. And what this is gonna do for you, when you're take it out of the oven, you're gonna pop it out easy. You just gotta lift it, and that'll make it super easy for you, and it'll be just great for you. So now we're gonna come back over here. Just wanted to share that with you guys. And we're just gonna kind of go across now. Like I said, you're gonna kind of want them the same length. If some are smaller, that's not a big deal, because you're gonna stack them amongst each other. So I'll show you that process right now. But we're just gonna continue cutting sideways. Whoa there, I just made music with my pan. So now you're just gonna take your pieces and you're just gonna stack them. Now, if you wanted to, before this part, if you wanted to put a little flour on the bottom to make it easier for you, you can. Actually, I made that mistake, and I didn't. I usually do put a little bit of flour, but that's okay. That's life. And just kind of piece the pieces together just like that. If they need to be stretched, just stretch them. If not, like I said, no big deal. You'll just get little extra little stretchies. And you just want to place them like that. Now, once you have them to the spot that you need them, stacked up. You're gonna place them in there. I just started that one just so you can start seeing about stacking them. You don't wanna stack the whole thing and then try to transfer it. So you're just gonna continue stacking these and placing them in the tray just like this. Okay, now that we got these in the pan, see how you're gonna want them to look? Now, like I said, they're not perfect right now, but I promise you they're gonna taste scrumptious and yummy. But hey, we all make mistakes in life, so if you have a bad day, just roll with it. Anyways, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cover these and let these sit for another half an hour before I put them in the oven. And while I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and wash my hands, and I'll see you in a half an hour. All right, now that I just took my second part of my bread out of my microwave where I proof it and let it rise again for half an hour, I'm gonna place it in my oven at 350. But before you do that, when you're doing this part and letting it rise for the half hour, you're gonna wanna preheat your oven at that time. So I already did that, so now I'm gonna pop these babies into the oven. Look at that. Look how pretty that is. Now I'm gonna pop them into the oven. Thank you, cameraman. See, the behind the scenes. He helps me sometimes. Anyways, I'll see you once those are done. We're probably gonna take about 40 minutes or less. I'm just gonna have to check it and then I'll show you after. Alrighty guys, now we're back. Look at this gorgeous pull apart bread. And you see why I told you to make these overlap on the outside? Because that way you can take them and pull them right out of there. See? Just like that. And that way it'll be easy for you guys. And it was in there for about 30 to 35 minutes in the oven. But like I said, you guys have to check it. I don't know, everybody's oven works differently. So just make sure you want to check your stuff. But look at that, how pretty it is. Now what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna make a glaze for this. Once I pull this other one out of here and I put it on there, I'm gonna make a glaze for it and I'm gonna be back with you guys. Now the glaze that you make for it, you can make a cream cheese glaze if you want, if that's what you prefer. But if you make a cream cheese glaze, don't forget you have to refrigerate the cream cheese. So I'm not gonna make a cream cheese glaze with this. I'm gonna take a little bit of softened butter, maybe about like 2 tablespoons at first. And then I'm gonna take about a half a cup of powdered sugar at first. And about a teaspoon of vanilla. And then I'm gonna whip it together. Now, depending on the consistency you want, you can have it thinner or, you know, thicker, depending on how you like it. But if you want it thinner, just add water to it. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna whip it up right now, and then I'm gonna add some water to it. Now, you see that it's thick? I wanna take a little bit of water at a time, just to get it the consistency that I want it. Just like that. Take a little bit at a time, maybe like a half a teaspoon at a time that you're gonna want. Half a teaspoon. And let me check that. See that? That might be needing a little bit more. Okay, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna test this to see if it's what I want. And it looks like that's what I want. Just a little bit thinner, I think I'm gonna do, but I'll do this by hand. You don't have to do everything. You can mix it by hand as well, just to make it the consistency that you want. And you don't have to do this. This is just optional, but I just think it looks a little extra special, and it just gives it that yumminess to it. I guess that extra little touch. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish drizzling these, and then I'm gonna taste this for you. Hey guys, now I'm gonna taste this today, but I'm gonna show you how easy it is. Look at that. You don't need a knife or anything, they just pull apart. Just like that. You're definitely gonna wanna try this one. Guys, this is just, look at that, scrumptious. That's the middle piece, and you got the glaze coming down with the melting butter on it. Look at how nice and moist and soft that is. And you can just pull it apart. This is a nice gift to give someone, or you can also just have it for a special day like Sunday or Saturday you spend with your family. Take that little extra time and make it. You want a piece, you guys? I'll give you a piece. But until next time, where I welcome you into my home, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Lordy's Classic Kitchen. I'll be seeing you soon. Have a blessed day. Bye.